home run to blow the save and an eventual loss. But there is no indication Vasquez is no longer closing. The left-hander was called on to face the top of the lineup after a rain delay and a tie game. He is number 11 among closers on the player radar thanks to a recent stretch of allowing runs and a mere 3 saves over the past month. Crick is likely next in line, but not someone to target unless we hear rumors of the last place Pirates trying to move their closer. Closing situations to watch this weekend start with the Twins dealing with poor performance Blake Parker and minor injury Taylor Rogers. Then again, Trevor May started the 8th inning on Wednesday. Atlanta could give left-handed pitcher Minter a shot after Jackson allowed a home run on Wednesday. In theory, does Boston manager Alex Cora go back to Matt Barnes or leave him for the 8th inning, where he is allowed only a 156 batting average against? The Rays are always interesting and start a 4-game set at home with a pitching poor Angels. I want to see how Joey Wendell is worked back into the lineup. Fantasy managers might not care, but Wendell was one of only 16 qualifiers to bat 300 last season. That alone makes him worth a look. Who sits also who closes. The Rays are on a 100-win pace with nobody on pace to eclipse 15 saves. It's a huge series for NL East supremacy in Atlanta with the Phillies, struggling to find starting pitchers, relievers, and runs on offense being watched closely. Is it fair? Well, the Phillies have a 718 OPS this month while the Braves are at 903. See if manager Gabe Kapler moves Scott Kingery to the leadoff spot, perhaps it is Bryce Harper, and check on who starts in place of Homer Happy Jared Eichhoff on Sunday. On Friday is Nick Pivetta, potential fantasy savior. The Braves are rolling, and Dallas Keuchel might pitch only one more time in the minors. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN features the number 2 fantasy starting pitcher, according to the Raider, and Dodgers Hyunjin Ryu, facing the Cubs and fellow left-hander Jose Quintana. Ryu leads the majors with a 1.36 ERA and has permitted only 7 home runs and 5 walks over 13 starts. It's ridiculous. Enjoy it, but be aware, if you're thinking of trading for him, he has averaged just 13 starts over the past 3 seasons. Durability is not a strength. He is already at his average. Plan ahead in fantasy baseball with help from my forecaster projections. I will provide an updated preview of the next 10 days for teams that matter, projecting the starting pitcher for each game and a corresponding projected game score, a single number that represents the expected performance of the pitcher in that particular matchup. A game score of 50 is normally considered average. Let's head right into that and take a look at some notable guys that might be worth picking up this week. We'll take a look at first with the Diamondbacks. So coming up, their highest projected game score right now, if you want to take a look at it, is Zach Greinke. He pitches on Wednesday against the Rockies, game score of 59. So I would venture taking a look at him. For the Braves, we take a look at Mike Soroka tomorrow against the Mets, projected game score of 60. For the Braves, taking a look at that, we've got a projected game score of 54 for Dylan Bundy on Thursday when they travel to Seattle. For the Red Sox, we've got a projected game score of 69 for Chris Sale on Friday against the Toronto Blue Jays. He's been rolling lately. For the Cubs, projected game score of 57 for Cole Hamels on Tuesday in a Windy City battle against the White Sox. For the White Sox, we take a look at Lucas Giolito, projected game score of 61 in another Windy City battle on Wednesday against the Cubs. For the Reds, projected game score of 58 for Luis Castillo on Saturday at Milwaukee. For the Indians, projected game score of 260s for Trevor Bauer on Friday against Detroit, and for Mike Clevenger against Detroit on Saturday. For the Rockies, projected game score of 57 for John Gray on a week from tomorrow at San Francisco. For the Tigers, we've got a projected game score of 55 for Matthew Boyd on, June 25th. That is Tuesday, a week from Tuesday, against the Rangers. For the Houston Astros, we've got Justin Verlander, projected game score of 66 on Tuesday as they head to Cincinnati. For the Royals, we've got a projected game score of 54 for Brad Keller Wednesday when they head to Seattle. For the Angels, projected game score, we've got 2 56s, one for Andrew Haney when they head to Toronto on Wednesday, and one for Griffin Canning as they head to St. Louis on Friday. For the Dodgers, projected game score of 65 for Walker Buehler on Thursday when they host the Giants in their rivalry matchup. For the Miami Marlins, we've got a projected game score of 58 for Trevor Richards on Wednesday when they head to St. Louis. For the Brewers, projected game score of 62 for Brandon Woodruff on Tuesday when they head to San Diego. For the Twins, projected game score of 56 for Jose Barrios on Saturday when they head to Kansas City for the weekend. For the Mets, projected game score of 64 for Jacob deGrom twice this week on Tuesday when they head to Atlanta and on Sunday, a week from today, when they head to Chicago. For the Yankees, projected game score of 57 for Masahiro Tanaka tomorrow when they take on the Tampa Bay Rays. For the Oakland Athletics, projected game score of 56 for Frankie Montas on Thursday when they take on Tampa Bay. For the Philadelphia Phillies, projected game score of 59 on Tuesday, a week from Tuesday when they took on the New York Mets, Aaron Nola on the hill. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, projected game score of 58 for Chris Archer on Saturday against the Padres. For the St. Louis Cardinals, projected game score of 58 for Jack Flaherty on Tuesday when they take on the Miami Marlins. For the Padres, San Diego, projected game score of 55 for Joey Lucchesi twice this week. Sunday when they head to Pittsburgh, and tomorrow when they welcome in Milwaukee. For the Giants, projected game score of 55 for Madison Bumgarner a week from Tuesday when they welcome in the Rockies. For the Mariners, a projected game score, we have two 53s this week. One comes from Mike Leake when they take on the Orioles on Friday, and the next comes from Tommy Malone, Orioles on Saturday. For the Rays, projected game score of 60 for Blake Snell Wednesday when they head to the Bronx to take on the Yankees. For the Rangers, projected game score of 56 for Lance Lynn when they welcome in the White Sox on Saturday for a weekend set. For the Blue Jays, projected game score, we've got two 47s in this. Both are for Trent Thornton. 147, actually, that is on Friday when Trent Thornton pitches at Boston. And for the Washington Nationals, a projected game score of 66 for Nats ace Max Scherzer when they take on the Nationals on Wednesday. The fantasy baseball season is underway, and that means you need updated rankings. No matter what kind of league you play in, I take a look at some rankings, and I will give you some notable rankings and, some shifters and movers that are notable to note here. So if you take a look at the top 300, we see who's on the upward trend. We've got Chris Davis. He's at number 46. He is definitely on the upward trend. DH from Oakland. Josh Bell sitting at number 48. He is on the uphill trend as well. Headed down is Joey Gallo. He's now down at number 53. Rafael Devers is up to 54. Nelson Cruz up to 57. Noah Syndergaard down to 60. Matt Chapman up to 63. Nicholas Castellanos, up to 67. Patrick Corbin down to 68. Austin Meadows up to 69. Brad Hand up to 73. Matt Carpenter up to 74. Yasiel Puig down to 75. Hyunjin Ryu up to 76. Trevor Bauer down to 78. Zach Greinke down to 80. Paul DeJong down to 83. Carlos Correa down to 86. Luis Castillo down to 88. Carlos Santana up to 91. Lorenzo Cain down to 92. Justin Turner down to 93. Sean Doolittle up to 95. Kyle Hendricks up to 98. Will Smith up to 100, the relief pitcher. Eduardo Escobar up to 101. Max Kepler up to 106. Victor Robles down to 108. Nick Senzel down to 110. Blake Trinan down to 111. David Dahl up to 112. Mad Bum Madison Bumgarner down to 115. Rougned Odor down to 116. Shohei Ohtani down to 118. Ketel Marte up to 119. Austin Riley, the rookie phenom, up to 120. Eloy Jimenez down to 123. Fernando Tatis Jr., rookie slugger himself, up to 124. Chris Paddock down to 127. Matt Olson down to 128. Shane Bieber down to 130. Aaron Hicks down to 135. Three ups coming here. Justin Smoke up to 137. Stephen Piscotty up to 138. Franmil Reyes up to 139. Asdrubal Cabrera down to 144. Wilson Contreras down to 145. Up to 146 is Will Myers. Up to 148 is Jock Peterson. Up to 149 is Max Muncy. Down to 150 is Alex Colomé. Up to 152 is Trey Mancini. Down to 153 is Marcus Semien. Up to 154 is Adam Jones. Up to 156 is Ryan Braun. 4 ups coming up. 158 Cesar Hernandez. 159 Matthew Boyd. 160 Avisaíl Garcia. And 161 Hector Neris. Down to 164 is Jose Quintana. 3 ups, 165 Kyle Schwarber, 166 Brian Dozier, and 167 Lucas Giolito. Going down to 172 is D. Gordon. Down to 174 is Brad Peacock. Up to 176 is Hunter Renfroe. 2 downs, 179 Robbie Ray, 180 Justin Upton. Moving up to 181 is Jake Odorizzi. Down to 183 is Cole Hamels. Up to 184 is Dansby Swanson. To 185, moving up, Cole Calhoun. Down to 186 is Eduardo Rodriguez. Up to 187, Randall Grichuk. Down to 188 is Caleb Smith. Up to 189 is Derek Dietrich. Moving down to 195 is Yadier Molina. Down to 196 is Domingo up to 196 is Brian Anderson. Down to 197 is Domingo Germán. Up to 198 is Nick Markakis. 3 ups. 200 Michael Franco. 201 Ahmed Rosario. 202 Ramon Laureano. Down to 203 is Brendan Rodgers. Down to 205 is Tommy La Stella. Up to 206 is Raimel Tapia. Up to 207 is Pedro Strop. Up to 210 is Travis Shaw. 2 downs, 211 Jordan Hicks. 212 Wade Davis. 2 ups, we've got Andrew Haney moving up to 215 and Jorge Soler to 216. Moving down to 217 is John Lester. Moving down to 219 is Mike Foltynewicz. Moving up to 223 Joey Lucchesi. Up to 225 is Kevin Kiermaier. Down to 226 is Hunter Dozier. Up to 227 is Jason Hayward. Down to 228 is Jose Martinez. Up to 230 is Pablo Lopez. Down to 231 is Joe Musgrove. Up to 232, Rangers DH Hunter Pence. Up to 234, Didi Gregorius. Up to 236, JBJ Jackie Bradley Jr. Down to 238 is Keston Hiura. He's in the minors. Up down to 240, Chris Taylor. Down to 241, Max Fried. 2 ups, 243, Jason Kipnis. 244, Yanni Chirinos. Down to 248 is Mike Zunino. He's up to 248. Down to 249 is Yu Darvish. Up to 251 is Brandon Belt. Luke Jackson moves up to 252. Moving down, we got AJ Polk to 253 and Yusei Kikuchi to 254. Moving upward and onward, Jay Bruce to 256 and Sonny Gray to 257. Down is Tyler Skaggs to 258. Pirates second baseman Adam Frazier to 259. Moving down to 260 is Ian Desmond. Down to 262 is Pirates pitcher Chris Archer. Moving up to 263 is Clint Frazier. Moving down to 265 is David Fletcher. Moving up, we got Yonder Alonso at 268. Moran moving up. Pirates third baseman Colin Moran at 270. Moving up, Jose Alvarado. Going down, Scooter Gennett, 273. 3 ups, Leonis Martin, 274. Josh Reddick, 275. Craig Kimbrell, 276. Moving down to 277 is John Gray. Moving upward and onward, 278 for Kevin Biggio. 279 for Mitch Moreland. Moving up to 281 is Sergio Romo. Down to 282 is Rick Porcello. Up to 283 is Ryan McMahon. And down to 284 is Jurickson Profar. Heading into the home stretch here. Down to 289 is Jose Leclerc. Up to 291 is Nico Goodrum. Down to 292 is Omar Narvaez. Up to 293 is Freddie Galvis. Down to 294 is Hansel Robles. 3 more. Up to 296 is Kristen Stewart. Up to 298 is Dexter Fowler, and in danger of dropping out of the top 300. Down to number 300 is Steven Matz. Some positional rankings moving up and down. We got Mitch Garver is now the number 17 catcher. He moved up. Moving down is Francisco Cervelli, now the number 20 catcher. Up to 23 is Brian McCann, number 23 catcher. 2 guys moving down. Tyler Flowers now number 27. Josh Fegley, 28. Now the number 30 catcher moving up is Elias Diaz. Moving down to 36 is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Moving up is Blake Swihart. Moving up is Kurt Kasawi to 42. Down to 43 is also Martin. Up to 44 is Alex Avila. Down to 45 is Victor Caratini. Up to 46 is Kevon Smith. Down to 47 is Travis d'Arnaud. Up to 48 is Matt Wieters. And down, the worst catcher there is Nick Hundley. First baseman's movement up to number 9 is Matt Carpenter. Down to number 13 is Edwin